Pupunta din na kami ng mga pagkain.
The mutya that will resemble.
Ngayon pala, you're already experienced. Pupunta din na kami ng mga pagkain.
The mutya that will resemble. Hello mga ka-Qrown and welcome back to our YouTube channel, The Qrown Philippines. This is Christian at tuloy-tuloy pa rin ang ating coverage for this year's pageant season. And of course, before anything else, would like to give a big shout out to our almost 500,000 followers on Facebook. We're on the road to 100,000 followers on Instagram and we're on the road to 500,000 subscribers on YouTube. Kaya sa mga hindi pa po nakakapag-subscribe, just click on the subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you can be updated with our recent news, reviews, and pageant coverage, and you can be part of our growing Qrown Nation. And of course, for more updates, you can visit our official website. It's www.theqrown.com. Konnichiwa, mga ka-Qrown, because in just a few days, we are flying again to Japan. Yay! We're so excited, just like how we covered the Miss International Beauty Pageant last year. We're still gonna do it this year. Yay! Thank you to Stephen. Hello. Shout out to all of the staff of Miss International organization. Thank you so much for accommodating and allowing the Qrown Philippines to be part of the media who will be covering there in November. So, but before we go there, this is going to be another special edition of the Qrown Philippines because we are going to be joined by one of their delegates for the 62nd Miss International Beauty Pageant. And that is none other than the representative from United Kingdom. Let's all welcome Tiny Simbani. Hi.
It's so lovely to be talking with you today, and thank you so much for having me here.
Konnichiwa and mabuhay.
Konnichiwa and mabuhay.
How are you, Tiny? I would like to thank you first, of course, for accommodating a request. I know you're very busy preparing for your flight for Miss International, but I would like to thank you for accommodating our request. How has it been so far?
Absolutely incredible. I think that to even become Miss International United Kingdom in itself is such an incredible and just life-changing experience in the fact that I've learned so much and I've been able to grow even in this time right now. And I can only look forward to Miss International with so much more excitement and knowing that there's so many exciting things to come and being able to finally meet the other contestants and come together in Japan, which is in itself my dream location for a pageant. So I cannot wait.
Beautiful Japan, and we're so excited to see you there. Yay! Yeah, okay. All right. So, Tiny, let's step back for a bit because, of course, your fans and our viewers here on the Qrown Philippines would like to know what inspired you to compete for Miss International United Kingdom?
Yeah. So I always describe competing in pageants as a snapshot into your life at the time. So I competed in my very first pageant when I was 15 years old. And that was for me an opportunity to gain confidence. It was an opportunity to make friends and have a great experience. I remember sitting down in my interview and saying, I just want to have a really incredible experience and meet other girls, and I can't wait to just have so much fun. It wasn't necessarily at that time for me about the bigger picture and the change that I wanted to make. However, I now, as a competitive today, it is being able to see that growth and that development. I once competed in pageants as a way to build confidence, and I now compete in pageants as a way to make change. And I'm so excited for the fact that I'll get to do that in the Miss International stage. And I've learned so much again, as I said, and to be able to see that growth and develop in myself. I finally have something I want to say and I have a change that I want to make and I want to impact others. And I really do believe that the Miss International stage will be the perfect place to do so.
Wow, amazing. So, but Tiny, did you find it like easier for you? Because you mentioned that it's not your first rodeo to compete in pageants. Did you find it easier for you to compete in United Kingdom?
I I don't know if it sounds bad to say I found it fairly okay. But I think that's okay because I would say that my growth and development today has happened in pageants and outside of it. I'm very confident in who I am today because of the growth that I've had over the years. And for example, I was fortunate enough to become the elected youth mayor of my city and to have been able to have that role and be in an elected position and be so a part of the discussions that were happening in my local community. That in itself really instilled me with the confidence to be able to come to a new platform and say, what can I do to make a change and what can I do to make a difference? And I really do believe that I was then able to come into Miss International with the most positive mindset and really be able to see that growth and see that development of firstly being so proud of myself and the growth that I'd made, but also be able to say, thanks to that growth and development, I'm now so confident to be able to sit in front of you and say that I'm the best version of myself and I want to help other people also reach the very best version of themselves.
Wow, such an achiever. And I'm sure you're already, giving out a good influence. And I'm sure you're inspiring a lot of young women, not only in United Kingdom, but also to everyone who's watching us right now. So, Tiny, you mentioned about competing in Miss International, but how have you been preparing for the Miss International competition in Japan? Because United Kingdom has been, doing really so well in the pageants in the recent years. How have you been preparing?
Yes. I mean, of course, firstly, I do want to say for my little bit of Japanese knowledge, so watashi no me wa Tiny, which is hello, my name is Tiny, and I'm going to try and just pick up as much as I can. And I can't wait to even be out there in Japan and learn even more about the language and learn more about the culture. I just am really someone who really values that ability to really exchange culture. I love traveling in itself, but beyond that, even last year, I had an international exchange in Germany where I was with people of all different countries and we came together and we were, funnily enough, discussing the sustainable development goals. So they keep following me. That's what it is. I love just being able to have that cultural exchange and share that knowledge and be able to learn from different countries. And I'm definitely coming with that same attitude to Miss International, where I'm open and I'm ready to learn. And I want to really show my appreciation and my value for that Japanese culture, but also be able to come and learn from other people. And that there will be many, many countries there. So lots of opportunities for learning. And beyond that, I think that pageants aren't really a one-dimensional development. I've really been trying even things from just the way that I walk to, again, just being really confident in what it is that I want to share to an international stage in all of these different areas. They're coming together. Things as small as what do I want to wear and how do I want to represent myself and how do I want to represent my country. There are so many different areas for consideration. And I almost love pageants so much, a little bit just for that reason. There's no one dimensional place for learning. You're constantly learning and there's lots to be done. But I know I'm going to go there. I'm going to sit on that plane and I'm going to say, do you know what? The rest of this is just to enjoy. We'll see how it goes.
And we can tell that you are 200% ready for the competition.
Oh, thank
So,
you.
Tiny, of course, there are also challenges that you come or
Mm,
you face along the way. But can you share any challenges you've
mm.
faced while you're preparing and how did you overcome them?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always keen to highlight to young women that you can do anything. However, I know that from growing up as somebody who I was born in Zimbabwe, I'm a Black British person in the United Kingdom. And these different elements of my experience from not necessarily always seeing myself represented in beauty and not always seeing myself represented in leadership positions, these were things that I wanted to be that person and be able to really instill that confidence in others. I remember being at university and writing an essay on the first winner who was Black from Miss Universe Great Britain. And the impact that that had for me as a young woman who was Black and growing up in the United Kingdom, that same message can be shared across the world in that you can be the first. And even if you don't necessarily right now see yourself represented, if there's something that you're passionate about and something that you know is right for you, have that confidence and take that step. I was the winner of the 10th anniversary for Miss International United Kingdom, and I was the first Black winner. And I didn't let it stop me that nobody had come before me looking like myself, because again, I knew I can be the first. I can be the person who is able to be that person for other young women to look up to. And hopefully that inspires some more people to want to get involved with pageants. And it might, you can't limit yourself, is basically the message that I definitely want to leave for other young women and girls.
Very powerful message, and I'm sure United, all of United Kingdom is behind you in this competition. Now, Tiny, what aspect of the Miss International competition are you most looking forward to?
Oh my goodness. Well, I want to firstly say everything, but that's not a good answer. But I would say, honestly, that all of the activities in the lead up, I know being on the stage is such an incredible point, and it really is the pinnacle moment as to why we're all there. However, I do think that it's those weeks in Japan of just learning about the culture, being able to do incredible activities and being able to really just learn so much in that time. That's what will even make us better competitors on that stage on that day than we are today. I really think we'll be able to see so much growth and so much development. And I always say, it can be exhausting. You can be tired, but you got to keep going. The energy that you'll feel and the excitement that you'll have, because it's such a once in a lifetime opportunity. I just want to go with the best attitude to everything. I want to go and just be keen and be excited and be able to really show my excitement. And I just so look forward to having such a unique opportunity.
Is it going to be your first time in Japan, or have you gone there?
It is, and it's been a dream of mine. So I keep saying, as much as I would have been happy doing Miss International anywhere, it does make it even better that it's in Japan.
True. When we were there, we stayed for about like 2 weeks, and we didn't want to go home anymore.
Mhm,
There, the
mhm.
food. Wow. Wow.
Literally. I'm worried, I've got to say. I'm very concerned. Will I ever want to leave? That's the question.
So, Tiny, as a representative of your country, of
Mhm,
course,
mhm,
I'm sure you've been sharing message of inspiration. But what
mhm.
message do you hope to convey on the international stage, especially for young women who also look up to you?
Yeah, I mean, I think that I was really fortunate in that I spent over 5 years as part of Derby's local youth council, which is the area that I grew up in. And in that time, I was able to really see a strong demonstration of when you integrate young people into political discussions. So I really want to be able to extend that into a global stage. It's firstly something that we can extend even more in the UK itself, but if I am able to pass on that message that I've been the example of really strong introduction for young people to politics, and you don't have to introduce this to people as a scary thing. Politics can be inclusive. It can be an opportunity for shared knowledge, for exchange. You don't necessarily have to look at it as something to be feared. It's an opportunity for people to grow and develop. And I just want to continue that internationally.
How about any cause or advocacy that you plan to promote during the competition, and why do you feel that is important to you?
Yeah. So youth representation in politics is the closest thing to my heart. Because of that, I really think it firstly allows people to become better decision makers in both politics and in their wider life as well. I'm really keen to spread the message on what are your values and what it is that you really believe in before you then make other decisions. And if you're really confident in what it is that you believe in yourself and what your true values are, then you can go on to make really informed decisions. So for me, being able to be involved in political discussions, that's what made me today who I am. That's what's made me be able to say, wait, what is it that I'm passionate about? What's the change that I do want to make? And how do I want to be someone who leaves this world a little bit better than I left it? I was fortunate enough to be able to travel with Christina a couple of weeks ago to India. And in that time, we were able to deliver some confidence workshops. And for myself, I decided to deliver a workshop on being able to see yourself as a social influencer. So whether that's your local community or whether that's all of India or if that's the whole of the world, I wanted to give other young women the opportunity to say, what's one thing that if you were passionate about something, you would like to see a change made in? And that question in itself, I think sometimes people get a little bit nervous, they stumble a little bit because they think, oh my goodness, nobody's ever asked me, what is it that I'm passionate about? I don't know. But that to me is so powerful because that's the questions we should be asking people. What are you passionate about? What is the change that you want to make? And I think that if we can instill that attitude in young people as much as we can and as early as we can, that's what will then help them in the future to be able to say, this is the cause that I care about and this is the difference that I want to make.
And this year's edition, Tiny, I
Mhm.
believe it's still going to be the theme is going to be focused on beauties for SDGs
Yes.
or sustainable development goals.
Yeah.
Anything that you'd like to highlight in relation to that during the competition?
Yes. So for me, it's really important to make sure that we have open discussions when talking about the sustainable development goals. Because I think that sometimes when we have, let's say, discussions in the world of politics or in the world of social issues, we can sometimes isolate people in the language that we use, and we don't make those conversations really open so that anyone can have the opportunity to kind of bring their perspective. So for me, all of the sustainable development goals really do come down to being able to talk about different areas that we can come together and promote peace, justice, and strong institutions, which is Sustainable Development Goal 16. I really think that that is the backbone of all of the sustainable development goals. Because if we have strong institutions, if we're promoting peace and if we're promoting justice, that's how we have a really strong foundation when discussing the rest of the sustainable development goals. So even for me, making sure that we have gender equality or making sure that we have opportunities that are equal for people in different societies, those things are all so important. And those all come from making sure that we hold those institutions accountable. And if we're making sure to promote peace and promote justice ourselves and hopefully create really strong foundations for all.
Wow, we're excited to hear more about that during the competition. Now, on a lighter note, Tiny, because like a couple of days ago, we saw a
Mhm.
post from the Miss International page saying that the girls you will be parading in your national costume. And
Yes.
do you have any like just for the fans, any
Yeah.
clues about your national costume? How are
Mhm.
your OOTDs? Are you
Yeah.
ready with your gown?
So I will say for two little surprises in there. My national costume, I'm very excited. It's going to be a very grand affair. That's what I'll say as a little hint.
Oh.
So that's my little hint for that. And I will say that my dress designer might be from the Philippines. So
Oh, oh my gosh.
those are
Wow.
two top secrets for you there. So we'll see. We'll see from there.
Yay, mga ka, you heard that here on the Qrown
Mhm.
Philippines, and we'll definitely watch out for that. All right. So, but of course, the Filipino fans are also curious to know if you have reached out. Have you connected with our very own Miss Philippines, Angelica Lopez, or have you girls have had already like a quick chit chat online, or have you talked to anyone?
Yeah, so me and Angelica, I've not had the chance to have a full chat with her just as yet, but absolutely beautiful, let me say firstly. And she just seems to have the biggest heart from what I've seen online. So I'm so looking forward to being able to chat with her. And yes, I've got to say, well, to the whole of Philippines, you have a very incredible representative right there. So I will also be cheering her on alongside all of the other girls. And I'm sure she'll do absolutely incredibly. And it's just been nice to have some conversations with the girls ahead of the time and being able to message some of them and get support from one another. I think it just helps it as well because we're all going through the same thing. So instead of making it intimidating, it's very much a sisterhood. That's what it is. So I do look forward to being able to see them in person.
We'll definitely take a lot of pictures of you and the rest of the girls when we get there.
It's true.
When
It's
are
a
you
job. It's like
arriving in Japan,
whenever.
Tiny?
But
When are you arriving in Japan?
so I'll be arriving on Monday, but I won't be traveling into the pageant until Tuesday.
I see. Are you flying there with your family, or
My
how
family
will?
will be coming a little bit later. So luckily so I have the best support system. So both of my parents will be coming and they are so excited. They love a pageant weekend generally. And then to be able to just travel to Japan on top of that, especially my mum, it's her dream location. So she can't wait. And then my sister actually is a former Miss Universe Great Britain and Miss Grand England. So she is not a stranger to traveling for an international pageant, but I think she's loving being on the other side of it and getting to support me so she gets to have all the fun.
Wow, excited to
So,
meet them as well. So,
yeah,
Tiny, can you share a memorable moment from your journey to becoming Miss International United
yeah,
Kingdom? Because I'm sure this is very precious for you. I mean, this
yeah,
moment is a
yeah,
once in a lifetime chance.
yeah.
So, can you share a memorable moment from your journey?
Yes. So as part of my preparation and in the lead up to doing Miss International, I said to myself, what is one thing that I love to do? And I love to bring women together and I love to be able to create opportunities for young women to have great opportunities for exchange, to meet one another, to make friends, and be able to have really great discussions. So during a charity event that I hosted, I had every woman write down on the back of a younger photo of themselves. So I had each of them submit a photograph of themselves from when they were younger. And I said, can you please write a letter to your younger self saying, firstly, one thing that you're so proud that you've achieved. And then, secondly, one thing that you are going to achieve in the future. Because I am so keen for us to really look back on our younger selves, because I don't think it's as easy for us to be mean to them as much as we're always mean to our current selves. It's very easy for us to bring ourselves down or say negative thoughts, but to that person, we want her to have all the confidence and all the ambition in the world. And then because of that, I also then said to everyone to write that goal because again, that girl, she had all of the ambition. She said to herself, this is what I'm going to do in the future. If I'm going to be a princess, I'm going to be a princess. I'm going to be a doctor, I'm going to be a doctor. I'm going to be all these things. I said to myself when I was younger, I wanted to be a princess, and I'm now a pageant queen. So that in itself tells you that no matter what anyone tells you, you can achieve your goals. And I was so happy to be able to do that workshop with the women and be able to really inspire others to look back on their younger selves. And I really hope to continue doing that with more people in the future. I think a lot of people really appreciated it. So
Very beautiful message. And talking about the future, Tiny, as for my
yeah.
final question, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? And how do you plan to continue making a positive impact, especially
Yeah.
your participation and, of course, here in Miss International?
Yeah. So I Of course, would absolutely love to have the title of Miss International. But beyond that, I've always been someone who says that pageants happen when you're competing and when you're not competing. So not only have I been a competitor, I've been a supporter, I've been a sister, I've been a friend, and I've been a mentor for other people. I try to be someone who really leaves people feeling a little bit more confident in themselves than how they started. So I hope that over the next 5 years, whether that's as Miss International, as for the rest of my time as Miss International United Kingdom, or in any other realm of pageantry, that I'm able to really inspire other young women to really find that confidence within themselves. I love politics and I love being able to engage in those discussions. Not everyone does, but you'll find your thing and you'll find your niche, even outside of pageantry. Pageants aren't for everyone, but if this is the thing for you, go into it with full force, enjoy it, try your hardest and see what happens because you never know. You might walk away with the crown, but if you don't, worst case scenario, you've tried something new and you've had an amazing experience. And then outside of pageantry, everything that you can learn in this and being ambitious, going for your goals and being able to be driven and just try your hardest, continue that. And I just want every young woman to just feel like they are capable of achieving their goals.
Ah, yay! I love that message. Wow. So there you have it, mga ka-crown. Thank you, Tiny, again for accommodating our request and sharing your time. I know you're very busy. We'd like to talk to you more. We'll see you in Japan. But before we let you go, can you invite everyone, your followers, your supporters, our viewers today, to watch and follow your journey in Miss International?
Yes, of course. So feel free to follow me along on at Tiny Simbani on Instagram or the at Miss International United Kingdom Instagram page as well. That will be your best place for regular updates. And I will make sure to get lots of pictures for you all. And I can't wait to be able to meet the other girls. And I really hope you enjoy the show as well this year.
Yay! So there you have it, mga ka-crown. On behalf of our special guest for today, Tiny Simbani, Miss International United Kingdom, this is Christian, Jonathan, and the rest of the Crown family telling you to cherish all of your crowning moments at the Celebrate natin yan only here on the Crown Philippines. Thank you, Tiny. Thank you, mga ka-crown.
Thank you so
Bye!
much.